Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Good morning, Miami Dolphin fans. I'm Rob Mosley, a.k.a. Dolphins Thirsty, and today I'm going to be joined by DG Alive. Make sure you check him out. I'll get his name up there in a minute. I don't have the banner up there with our names on it yet. Guys, we're coming off a loss. Gave up 31 points, only scored 17. Not a very good offensive performance. Only got the one offensive touchdown, and we had the pick six. Not a very good game overall, George. But at the end of the day, we're still number one in the AFC East, still in control of our own destiny. Got a division game coming up this week that we got to get back on the winning ways. We can't let New England do to us what they just did to Buffalo yesterday. So they got to get back. We're going to talk about last night's game, of course. There's no way around it. It was seen on national TV by fans all over. Mm-hmm. Hey, good morning, Steve. And good morning.
What's going on?
Yeah, good morning, Ender. So, George, I know the easy thing is we can talk about a few of the bad calls. And believe me, there was a lot of bad calls, but I'm not going to make that as an excuse. You could talk about our offensive line. That's the biggest issue I had in the game, that we had no Connor Williams. I think not having Armstead really hurt last night, and Wynn going out early. So I mean, that's not a good formula going against the Philadelphia Eagles, who probably have the best defensive line we're going to face this year, because that Carter kid he's a rookie, but he's only a rookie by title. That kid's a vet. He's a pro. He's tough to handle, and there's a lot to talk about from last night. But like I said, end of the day, number one in the AFC, still sitting on top, in control of our own destiny, George. And so outside of the bad calls, we get to that because there were some evident ones, like when down there, when it was obvious, whether you want to call it interference, grabbing the face mask, holding, whatever you want to call it. There was, a few penalties they could have, we would have gotten an automatic first down there, and they should have called it. They didn't. Tyreek Hill didn't catch a ball right on that same drive. We ended up getting a touchdown on a pick six a few plays later. But at the end of the day, yes, that was a blown call. And then some of the holdings that they would call on us, okay, they might be holding. But then if you see the Eagles, they do some of the same stuff. Call it both ways. That's all I have. If you're going to be picky on the holding, call it both ways. But other than that, George, what do you think about the refereeing? And then we get on to the meat of the game, because I don't want to beat that dead horse. So what do you think about some of the calls last night?
Like every game always has like a bad call that you don't agree with. But with our talent, we didn't have no talent out there either. So we had a lot of things working against us this game. So like the referees, I wasn't expecting them to be on tip-top shape, with the Eagles. I just had a feeling this game that the referees betted on this game. They wanted the Eagles to win. The odds were for the Eagles before this game, like plus 3 points. I'm not too sure. So everybody thought the Eagles were going to win, even though we had the same record, but everybody been saying we've been beating our sorry teams, and we lost to the Bills and the Eagles. At least we lost to the teams that we're supposed to lose to. At least we're not losing to the Broncos. At least we're not losing to the Panthers. So that's the good thing about this. But at the same time, we had to beat either one of those two teams, because we know they're a hard team, and that's the team that everybody want to see us beat. That's when everybody.
I'm with you, George. I'm with you. I think the Kansas City game almost becomes. I mean, it's not, but it almost becomes a must-win. The Kansas City game. You almost have to beat Kansas City to also beat that narrative. And for one, Kansas City. It's a tiebreaker. You don't want to have to go into Kansas City in the playoffs. We get lucky that it's not in Kansas City. So take advantage of that. Get that win in Germany against Kansas City. And we should be good to go on that front. If we can win that game, we would finally put the narrative to sleep that we can't beat a good team. So to me, but I'm not forgetting, and the Dolphins better not forget that New England's coming to town this week. But I'm just talking about, the would have and could have and should have against teams that we should, beat, and then opposed to the teams that, like you say, that are considered among the best. And Kansas City obviously is considered among the best. They just coming off fresh off a Super Bowl victory. So, that to me is the must game coming up. But let's focus on New England this week, of course, from that perspective, from the team perspective, or they could get a little taste of what Buffalo got yesterday. So that's going to be good. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Some of the calls were bad, but it's not the end of the reasons not why. Because Tyreek Hill catches that touchdown pass, he normally
Mhm.
does. Last night he doesn't. And then there was other things. Two on that one interception, kind of just threw it up kind of for grabs to a running back, and then there's like two receivers. So it just didn't even look like, if you're gonna throw it, I'd rather have Claypool in the game and throw it up to grab like someone that may be able to go up and get it. And so we will
Yeah,
see.
I thought Claypool, like I seen Claypool out there. I thought he's gonna at least get like at least one catch or
Yeah, I know.
whatnot, but I guess he was just out there trying to like block, get a few reps in, get
Yeah.
acclimated to the offense. Hopefully he comes along strong because you definitely gonna need him. The Eagles, their defensive backs, they're not small. They're not small, and they have some speed as well to keep up with our guys. Uh, Tyreek Hill, he had like 11 receptions. Waddle, he had 6 receptions. So they got their catches, but we just didn't get the yards.
No, we
That's
didn't get the chunk yards that we got spoiled
mm-hmm.
against. No, for sure we did not. And hey, good morning, G-Man. Good morning, Card Fins. Good morning, Anthony. But yeah, we got to get that narrative out there that we can beat the good teams as well. And I think we can. I think, Kansas City's the next good team. But like I say, don't sleep on New England, Miami. Don't sleep on New England because we already played them in a tough game up there, 24-17. So let's definitely not sleep on them down here. But a big thing I think that goes overlooked on our offense is I'm not sure how well it travels. And I'm not talking about being a bruising running team. I'm talking about with
Mm-hmm.
all the motions we do in a loud stadium. I don't know if we can, because Tyreek, he like times it at home. He times those cuts perfectly and he's able to get up the field so well
Mm-hmm.
because he knows. And then to me, it's like a little bit of a difference on the road. I've noticed we don't do as much motions. We don't put guys into motion. That could just be me. I don't know, but it just seems like we don't have that same flow because in the against the Chargers we had it because that was basically a home crowd, but against New England, against Buffalo, and against the Eagles, when it gets loud, I don't think some of those motions work as well as they do at home.
Like with the motions, that's just what we do. And I wish we did it a little bit more this game because we seen what Jalen Carter, we see what he is. He pretty much a Hall of Famer already. I'm not trying to hype him up too much, but you seen what he did to Isaiah Wynn on that one
Oh
play.
no, he's a beast. I mean, that guy. I mean, that guy's a beast. And the Eagles got
Yeah.
blessed. I mean, they were in the Super Bowl last year and get this kid in the draft this year because they're run well and they had a draft pick way up there and they
Mhm.
used it well. And that kid can play. And he fell to them because the story that came out about Carter before and all that. So they just kind of like Tunsil a few years back fell to the Dolphins because of pre-stories came out. He fell. Now the Eagles now got themselves a stud coming off a Super Bowl year. They get a guy that could have been a top pick in the whole draft, really. So it's crazy.
Like
Yeah, I would
it,
get to you, Anthony. Oh, hey, wait, we got an Ezekiel Dickey. Thank you coming in from Facebook. Make sure you nail that thumbs up over there on Facebook. Love seeing some Facebook people get in here as Zach tries to go. Let's see. Anthony asks, what is wrong with the Dolphins? We can't win big games last season. In this season, we also 4-1-5. Oh, on the big games. Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, Anthony, that is a narrative right now. But the Dolphins have plenty of time to put that narrative to the bid this year. We got to beat New England this week. Yes, I know they're not going to count as a winning team, but we got to put them to bed this week. Then we can put that Kansas City up to test. Get that victory, Anthony, and then maybe we're talking. And I think that will be a better chance. That's going to be, to me, if we get blown out by Kansas City, then yes, we got some issues. I agree that we got some issues going against the better teams. But you got to remember, we're in first place in the AFC East. It's early in the season. We're getting Ramsey back at some point. Xavier Howard was out last night. Connor Williams was out. I'm not making excuses, but it's facts that these guys were out, and that's part of our team. If we can get Armstead back. So there are, some, weapon, there are some bullets in the chamber that we don't have right now. And if you can get some of those guys back, it is going to help against those better teams. I mean, unfortunately, Connor Williams was out the Buffalo game and out the Eagles game. So two of the biggest games he was out. And I'm not saying Connor Williams, we would have won the game with him, but I do believe we would have had a little bit better control on the offensive front with him. I do believe that. I'm not saying Connor Williams is like Dwight Stevenson and we would have won the game because we had Connor Williams in there, but I do believe he would have helped.
One thing I noticed about the game yesterday, and I look back all the way to Tua's Alabama days. He would always beat up on the very mediocre to poor teams, like the teams that Alabama was not supposed to be playing. But when he went up against LSU with Joe Burrow, he just couldn't pull it off. When he went against the good teams, he just couldn't pull it off. Like the national championship that he won, he came in for Jalen Hurts. He did not start the whole game. So that's one game. There's a few other games, but it just seems like against those big teams, ever since college, Tua just can't get over the edge. Can't get over the edge unless he has that talent around him.
Yeah.
He had Trayvon Diggs on his defense. He had Quentin Williams, Raekwon Davis. He had a defense, offense, and sometimes he still can't pull it off with those guys on the other side of the ball. Damian Harris, Najee Harris, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, and yes, Card, that game's in Germany against the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have one important game before that, a division rival, Patriots coming into town this week. Dennis off to Germany. And I'm not so sure, G-Man, a lot of times I agree, but I think we may actually match up a little bit better. Yes, Kansas City's going to score points against us, but I think we can probably, even though they have a pretty high-ranked defense, I still think we can put points against, the Chiefs. And it's in a somewhat neutral site as opposed to going into Arrowhead. I'm not saying we're going to beat Kansas City, but I think, that's going to be our chance to, at least see what we can do. But yes.
I think we match up well with Kansas more than the Eagles.
Yeah, they're not the bully type. We don't match up against the bully defenses that have that big, tough defensive line. So we'll see. But, I mean, I'm going to say there's no chance, G-Man. That's all I would say on that, And it's what, I believe that there is a chance.
A decent chance, I don't know about that game. Hopefully we have our guys back. It seems like Jalen Ramsey probably will be back for that game. And on top of that, the Chiefs, they don't even have like a number one receiver over there for us to even worry about. It's not like
I don't know who's going to cover Kelsey. Just put Ramsey. That's his first game back. Just tell Ramsey your job is just follow Kelsey wherever he goes, So or something, man, because that guy, we can't cover tight ends still. I mean, that Goddard guy was like hurting us in that game last night. So, but hey, like I say, man, I'm proud of where the Dolphins are, but is it the end result where I want them? No, I want them to get into the playoffs and be a contenders in the playoffs. They're definitely a playoff team. You can see because they're beating, like you pointed out, they're beating the teams that they should beat. But in the playoffs, you got to beat good teams. So it'd be nice if we get some ammo going against good teams. But like I said, the defense played okay last night, except for, Hurts is tough. I agree. Hurts is tough because sometimes you would get pressure, but he would scramble out by that extra few seconds and then boom.
So, yeah, with Hurts, I was hearing a lot of things about him. Like, he's squatting 600 in college. That's probably why that play, that tush push play, that's why it probably works so well. It's like they're doing something in there that I can't really explain. It's like, they do their film on that play exactly. And then, the defense know it's coming. All guys on all fours, getting ready, then
Yeah.
they still get the first down. It's kind of like cheating at some point, but I don't know if the NFL is going to take it out or if they're going to keep it in. I'm not too sure. In my personal opinion, I think they should take it out. I know we do our motioning thing, we kind of had an advantage, but they're using their advantage as well. They're a
Yeah.
big, strong team. So, I don't want to take too much credit for that, but at the same time, like, come on, Eagles. It's kind of like, to me, like a pussy fit to me.
Yeah, I know. But like I said, they do it. Other teams have tried and they can't do it. They just like you say, they have that thing, but they may rule it because it's going to risk injury because everyone's pushing each other and banging in there. I mean, their own court, they bang their own quarterback to push them forward. And then you get banged. So who knows? But at the end of the day, we couldn't stop it, just like a lot of other teams haven't been able to stop it. And I was like shocked at one point at the end that they were going to punt for a minute. Then they thought about it, called a timeout, and then decided to go for it. And that was basically the difference in the game because if we got the ball back there, maybe we get back in the game, but we let them eat out that whole drive. Let's see what hooked up. The NFL changed the rules with the friends was tossing players over the line. You can't carry a player over the line. For sure pick them and push them over it. Yeah, they do. I mean, that's why I say there is some. They can probably get saying that you can't push someone forward on your own team. It's all they would have to change the rule to, and that will kind of put that to a stop. But we'll see. Like I say, but right now it's the rules. They're allowed to do it. It's our job to try to come up with a way to stop it, and we could not stop it. But a whole bunch of other teams haven't stopped it as well. But like I say, hey, the Dolphins are sitting in an okay spot right now because, yes, we lost to Buffalo, but Buffalo's basically lost every game since then. All right, at least Michael K. You probably seen him around. He's a Buffalo Bills fan, but at least he said the Bills suck. But I don't know if the Dolphins are really worse. Yes, we lost to them, but I don't know. We'll see at the end of the year.
Hey, we didn't lose to Mac Jones. We did not lose to Mac Jones.
Yeah, well, we're playing them this week, so let's not brag too much until after this week. Then we can pick on Michael K a little bit. But Michael K, don't jump off your team so far because just a few weeks ago you were telling me those are the best Bills teams since the Super Bowl when you guys went to 4 straight Super Bowls. Now you're saying they suck already. Come on, Michael, stay with your team a little longer. Just come over to the Dolphins, man.
Yeah, we'll take you.
Yeah, we'll take you as a Dolphin fan. So.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: what do you think we need to do to stop that play? Like, if it ever came down to it, and we meet the Eagles in the Super Bowl, what possibly can we do?
Like, I'm not a defensive coordinator, but I would think almost like you would have to get your big guys back there, and like you got to push, almost like a tug of war. You got to get like guys to push your guys forward and push them back. I mean, but. I don't know, but I don't really know because you see they're doing technique wise, everything perfect. They all get low as you can, they're all down there low. Is what they all taught on those scrums to get low, try to get lower than your opponent. And you basically see them all the way down on, they're like crawling like a baby almost, and they're still just, they're just getting pushed back. So somehow they have to be able to do so. No, you're right, G-Man. You're right to an extent. The offensive line can't handle big defensive lines. But you also got to remember, and I'm not saying Connor Williams, G-Man's old enough to know this name's Dwight Stevens. I'm not saying Connor Williams is Dwight Stevenson, but not having him. I don't care. Eichenberg played okay last night, but he's not. Connor Williams is a difference maker on the team. I really do believe that. Yes, he may have a couple bad snaps here and there. It's all, a couple, like, it is what it is. But yes, there's no moral victories in any sport, G-Man. You are 100% right. We lost last night. There is no moral victory. And it's on to New England in the best Bill Belichick when he used to say, we're on to Cincinnati. That's it. We're on to New England. And that's all we can do. Play who's next.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say our offensive line can't handle big, strong defensive line because we pretty much didn't have our original offensive line. You don't have Teron Armstead, you don't have Isaiah Wynn, you don't have Connor Williams.
Three of our hey Justin, fins up to you, Justin.
What's up, Justin?
But like I say, so yes, there's no excuses with the bad calls and this and that from the referees. But with the offensive line, when you're playing with three backups, probably going against. We're not really making. He's not making excuses, digging too much. He is, a couple here and there, but we all make because there were some bad calls, some whatever. We had three offensive linemen out, but I think for the most part, Justin, come on, my man. Justin's my main man right there, though. So I won't pick on him. But I remember many times when he says that referees are horrible. So I don't know. He forgets. But last night was a bad game. There is a fact that this game we had marked with an L at the start of the season. We played good enough to win, be it in 70. Yeah. So no, you're right, man. You are right. Just gotta say, we lost last night. We lost to a good team. The second good team we've lost to. It's just part of football. Oh well. Yeah,
let me
7
ask you.
of our 22 starters were out. Yeah, no, they. I mean, that's it. I mean, that's facts. Now, if those 7 guys would have been in there, would be a 1. That's the unknown that we will ever be able to prove one way or the other. But the fact is that a lot of people that we thought we were going to have at the start of the season, we do not right now. And yes, the Eagles have some people out too. I'm not going to discount that. Some of their defensive backs were out and not playing 100%. I understand that. But there's no excuses. We lost. George, I don't think you're making an excuse. I mean, the Dolphins lost.
Yeah, I'm not making any excuse at all. Like, here's how I view this game. The game that was most important to the Eagles was probably this game. Before that, they did not have everybody out there. I don't think Darius Slay played. I don't think the other corners played for the Jets. Against that Jets, the Jets won last game.
Right.
But, the Eagles had a lot of injuries. So I think if they had all their guys in,
Carter didn't even play against the Jets.
Yeah, Carter didn't even play against the Jets. So if you hear Jets fans talking about, the Dolphins are trash, you just gotta bring that up too. Then we had all the guys in there. We pretty much had a Super Bowl team last year. That's who we were going up against, and we didn't have all our guys. With this game, I remember last year when we went against the Eagles during training camp, and you heard the rumors like, this is a Super Bowl team. The Dolphins were getting the best of us. I know you seen that rep against Darius Slay during practice the other year during training camp. So I'm like, okay, we should be able to go toe to toe with the Eagles, but we just didn't have all our guys there. Maybe with all our guys there, we probably, would have kept up a better fight. They probably would have still won, but at the same time, if you're in a fight with somebody, you want it to be a fair fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Justin, I'm digging the trenches. Check your Twitter DM. I forget where, or do you prefer it on your phone? I forget where he prefers the link. But the different. No, I mean you're right, Jordan. Hold on, I got distracted because I was sending the link. I sent you a link to your Twitter DM. I guess I can drop it in here. Anyone's welcome to join. I can drop it. I was gonna save that for a little while. Justin really wants to join, so I'm sending out the link. So we'll see what Justin has to say. I normally don't put much into ref calls because they go both ways, but this one, the ref had already been suspended for bad unethical calls in the past, and it's from the area. Come on, NFL. Hey, and that's from Hooked Up Joe, another great fan teammate of mine, man. He's a great teammate to have. I don't look at you guys as subscribers. Let's see. That's a whole one. And then I know AVG is much better on the out, but the thing is, we got Jalen Phillips and we got Chubb.
Yeah, Jalen Phillips, he was doing his thing against Johnson.
I don't know. Hey, Goon Squad.
What's up?
That's Goon Squad. Man, you're changing your name on me, man. You're throwing me a curveball.
Bro, I'm going to tell you just like this, all right? They came to play a game like I told you in the beginning. It was going to be a war. It was going to be a trench warfare. Right. When they use that tush-push butt stuff crap they use, which is not football, that's ridiculous. I hate their coach. It's like playing somebody in Madden and they go for it every down on 4th down and fake punt. Yeah. What you need to do is you need to take the game into your own hands. I don't care who likes what I'm going to say. I don't give a crap. You need to go out there and you need to start hurting people. You need to take legs out, knees out, eyes out, take your balls, twist them in a pile. I don't care. If you want to win a game, sometimes you got to take control of the game and you got to get out physical a guy. You make that little muddle huddle right there. It's real easy to fall on the back of someone's legs, take someone's helmet and rip it off from the back and twist them like a pretzel. You got to go out there and hurt people sometimes if you want to win these games. And if not, go ahead and lay down like a prom bitch you just did, because that's what we just got. You can't lay down like a game in a game like this. You got to go up there and you got to hit them in their mouth every single snap.
Yeah. No, I agree with you to an extent, Bill, but keep it within the rules.
Nah.
No rules.
You're just
going to get a penalty anyway.
I don't care. I don't care about the penalty. That doesn't mean anything to me. It's a matter of going out there and opposing your will upon another player and another franchise, another team. The penalties are regardless. It doesn't mean nothing. You got to go out there and break necks when you got to go out there and break necks.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, look at Justin. Hey, Michael K. I'm impressed that you came in, Michael K. I didn't think you would since your Bills lost, but you came in and admitted your Bills lost. So how are you, Michael K? Oh, I don't think he's there.
He's probably on mute.
Yeah, he might be on mute. I know Justin's on mute for a minute, but
yeah, I just don't think the rules have anything to do with it. When I mean, I know we're gonna get penalized and we're gonna lose the game. You were gonna lose the game regardless. So what did it matter? You were gonna lose the game when you got off the bus. So go out there and take the fight to them and lose the immediate fight, but win the war. So you needed to go out there and you needed to start taking their players out. You needed to send a goon squad out there and start taking dudes out. I don't care who likes it. That's what you needed to do. And you didn't do that because you wanted to save face. What are you saving face for? A franchise that ain't won shit in 40 years? You got nothing to save face for.
Hey, but great shows. Thank you, Miss Fins. But no, Justin, I know I'm frustrated like you, Justin. You know, and we talk all the time. So I'm frustrated, but I still don't want to go out there hurting people because then we know better than the bounty gate.
Well, I do. That's what I want to do.
Hey, G-Man says, he agrees with you, I guess. He's saying the team is soft. So
hella soft, bro. This team's softer than a newborn baby's ass cheeks. It's bad, bro. You can't go out there and do that.
Soft as toilet
heart. That's not hard.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you think the Miami Dolphins prioritize skill position players rather than the trenches? Because it seems like with the Eagles, they prioritize the D-line and the O-line. But with us, it's like the outside in, but then it's the inside out.
Yeah, it's because this team's built backwards, bro. They built their team the right way in the trenches from the inside out, the way you're supposed to build a football team. This one's built with the skill players first.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Hey, before I bring in Michael K., hey, guys, make sure you check out Miss Finn. She brings a material every morning on the YouTube. Check her out. Thank you for stopping by. Eric Rivera, good morning to you as well. Frustrating loss, but on to the next game. Let's be
sorry, man. Right. I ain't trying to bring your show down or nothing, but we need to be honest with ourselves. Rob, me and you were very honest. We know, don't get too caught up in this hype. This is what happens. This team is fugazi, dog. This team is hella fugazi. All that flash and dash, all those yards, all those records, all that stuff doesn't mean squat when you get into the line of trenches and you can't win an alley fight. You don't bring a knife to an alley fight, bro. You bring a couple of guns and you mow everybody down. Bah, 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 bah. Then you're like, oh, I'm sorry. Did I step on you? I didn't mean to break your neck. You don't do it the opposite way, bro. And that's what they did. And I'm sick of it. I'm done with this soft team.
Yeah. Hey, John, thank you. We're not complaining about the referees either. We're not at all. I'm sure there's a million other shows. If you want to go out there and complain about the refs, you can get it. But I'm with you, John. We're not it's just time to go on, get ready for New England. I'm sure my buddy Justin would agree with that. It's time to get on because all you can do is
I knew we weren't going to get no calls. Calls, but I didn't think it would be that lopsided, bro. I'm looking at holds that were blatantly not called. Yes, it had something to do with it, but that's not why we lost. We lost because of what I'm saying. You went out there and you got all timid and played passive aggressively.
Not one penalty by the Eagles. Not one penalty.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. Like they played some perfect game. Get the hell out of here with that, dude. They didn't play a perfect game.
Yeah, no, they get it. The Backup Ben's podcast, thank you for stopping by. He says that's why I never brought into the preseason hype. People saying 14 to 15 wins. I guess it were some people. I weren't saying that. I was in the 10 to 11. I said the Dolphins were finished 11 and 6.
Playoffs.
Hey, now they won't make the playoffs, though. I do. I know that's a good old more line, but I do believe they will make the playoffs. Now, whether will they advance in the playoffs, that's another story for another day. Let's see what they do over there.
Do you really want to go to the playoffs with this team that gets into a fight and runs away from it? I know I don't. I don't want to get into a fist fight with the Eagles again and then lay down like a bunch of prom girls.
If we face the Eagles again, my friend, that means we're in the Super Bowl. So hey, that'd be a good thing.
Yeah, well, you go get into a game like that again and play the same way, you're going to get the same results.
Yeah. No,
you guys think the Eagles will be the best team that we face this whole year? Like based off what you seen last night, you don't think nobody will do better than them?
No, absolutely not. Kansas City's no joke. The Eagles' defense isn't that good. The Eagles' defensive front four is what is the difference, and Kansas City has all of that. But Kansas City's offense is 3 times what the Eagles' offense is. So if you look at it that way, you stand no chance against the Chiefs. You seen what Mahomes did yesterday?
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
Mahomes is unstoppable. Best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, but the Dolphins dropped 36 on the Chargers too, though. So let's not.
I don't think anybody's unstoppable. I think it's a matter of going out there and, like I just said, sending goon squads after these dudes.
So you want the players to go out and play dirty.
Yes.
To get the upper hand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
That's classless and poor sportsmanship.
I don't give a rat's ass what you think.
Well, I know you don't.
Let's keep it classy, gentlemen. We gotta keep it classy here at Dolphins Thirsty. So.
Well, yeah, but
you know what, Michael K? I would have came after your team the same way and tried to hurt every player you got because that's
because you're not physical enough to do it the right way, and that's not my fault. Blame McDaniel.
Maybe we're not, but we're gonna win one way or another at some sort of fight. That's how I would coach it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like this is Compton.
The Compton. It doesn't have to be Compton.
Okay,
dude.
guys, I'm gonna
handle
You're
business.
sitting there saying rip helmets off and grab.
Come on. I'm gonna keep it to DJ and me then, guys. Come on, let's just keep it good, Michael K.
It's all good, bro. I'll let you go. You guys have your show. Rob, you're doing a great job. Keep up the good work, DG.
Love, brother.
All right. Later, Goon Squad. Hey, G-Man, yes, Baltimore is really good. And Baltimore is really good, and they showed it yesterday and beating down the Lions. But, we'll see. It's a long season. Things happen. Let's see where we stand at the end of the season. So, Michael K., you had told me at one point that this was the best Bills team since the Super Bowl era where you guys lost, like, the Super Bowls about 4 in a row or whatever. But, where do you think now about your Bills team?
Well, obviously we had 2 Pro Bowl starters out. We had 2 All-Pro starters out on defense. You can't stop nothing with that. I'm sorry. I will use excuses for that.
Mm-hmm. The Dolphins also had people out too, though. So let's not,
They had starters, but are they All-Pro starters? Are they Pro Bowl starters?
Armstead and Connor Williams are really good on the offensive front. And then Xavier Howard, he's not in his prime anymore, but he's too solid. We still don't have Ramsey playing for us. So we got a lot of people that we were expecting to have that we don't have.
Deshaun Elliott was out.
Yeah. And you know what, Rob? Everybody's talking about Ramsey. Ramsey hasn't played 1 snap for the Dolphins yet. So you can't even put him in the equation because you don't know what he's doing.
Because at the beginning of the season, we signed him to be part of the equation, and then he got hurt.
Right, but you don't know what player you're going to get. You don't know how he's going to.
But he is part of the equation that we thought we were going to have. Whether he was going to be good or not was going to be determined, but we don't know. And he has to be better than what we have with right now out there.
Yeah, with Cater and Xavier out there, Jalen Ramsey, he has to be better than those 2 against Stephon Diggs and them other guys.
Right, but now you got to look at Ramsey is basically a man-to-man cornerback. He doesn't play zone. Fangio plays zone. You see that with the Bills. We got our first round pick of last year, Kyer Elam, absolutely sucks in his own scheme.
Hey, Scotty. Michael K, he's leaving us because of you, Michael K, but you can stay in here. But hey, Scotty, please hit that thumbs up for us.
You know what? I'll leave. You know what? He's a clown, anyways. I can leave. No big deal. He doesn't. You know what? He doesn't get up.
We're all different. As long as we keep it clean, man. That's what I tell Justin and you. Just keep it clean. I'm okay because I'm like.
Oh, I keep it clean. You know what? I expect sportsmanship.
Yeah. So
thank you. That's what I expect.
Yeah. But anyway, see, man, I got all thrown off here now. But anyway, last night's game was an ugly game with the Dolphins. There's no beating around the bush. We totally beat around the bush. We can't say that. It was a bad game, but it's time to move on. Yes, we haven't beat a so-called great team, but I guess, there's a lot of teams maybe that haven't beat a so-called great team, because if the Dolphins aren't good, then the Eagles aren't beating a good team, and the Bills beating us didn't beat a good team. So it's a lot of football to be played to determine who's a good team, who's a bad team, because the Lions got blown out yesterday, but they're probably going to win that division out there.
See, well, and that's the difference. The Bills can't beat a crappy team. They play down to their level, but they can beat the good teams.
Yeah.
The Dolphins, they can beat all the crappy teams in the world. They can't beat a good team, though. So how far is that going to get you in the playoffs?
Yeah. Hey, good morning, Dad. No, you're right, man. We do have to show that we can beat good teams, and definitely going to have to beat good teams in the playoffs. Without a doubt, you're going to have to beat good teams in the playoffs if you want to advance in the playoffs, right, George?
Exactly. I do think we got the potential. I've been a fan ever since we went 3-13 when we had a attempt to get through. I've been a fan ever since that time. So, us losing a few games, I'm not going to trip over it. It's not the end of the world. And, I still feel like we're one of the top 10 teams in the league. And, that should be good enough just as long as we're getting better throughout each practice, each week. By game time, by playoffs, we should be okay. We'll probably have Teron Armstead, we probably have Jalen Ramsey. I don't really like using excuses. In real life, you gotta get it how you earn it. But at the same time, I just feel like I'm grateful for the team that we have right now. We could have been better. There's some decisions that Chris Beard should have made, other than others. That probably would have helped us even more in this game. But as of right now, we still got some work to do. No matter how everybody feels about the team, we got the fastest team in the league. That's not good enough. It's just not good enough. We got to have strong people in the trenches. We got to have players that's not injury prone to help us out. It's just at the end of the day, it's a matter of who's the luckiest team.
I know. But when it comes to injuries, you got to avoid the injury bug. And when we signed Teron Armstead, we knew what we were getting, that he came injured a lot, unfortunately. And like I said, guys, I see all Dad Dean. I see you out there, hooked up Joe, G-Man, Card fans. I see you guys out there. Don't worry, man. All fins up to all of you guys. But yeah, that's the bottom line. You got to beat who's on the schedule, and the Dolphins are doing well at that when it comes to the so-called not great teams. But like you guys pointed out, when it's been the rise to the competition, we haven't been able to do it yet. This week against the Patriots, we better not sleep on them, because we may get some experience what Buffalo did this week. So we got to be ready for them. And it's an important game. If you had to tell me at the end of the day, it's more important than the Eagles game when it comes to tiebreakers and conference and division record and all that. But from a mental standpoint, beating a good team, yes, it would have been nice beating the Eagles to get that monkey off our back with everyone saying, well, the Dolphins are fakes. They're contenders, not contenders. So, yes.
Like with us, I feel like
the point being, when you come up against a physical defense, the Dolphins can't move. They can't move the ball. And there's no denying it. The stats prove that. And the Eagles out, they just played more physical. They took it to you, and that was it. Dallas is going to do the same way when you play Dallas.
Yeah. Sticking in the trenches, this team is individual, not a team. It kills one screw. Hey, you never know, man. Like I said, let's just see. It's a long season. It's been a fun team to watch so far. I give them that. George, because like you said, we're fast and stuff. So against those teams where our speed to our advantage, it's been fun to watch. But yes, when you play the physical teams, it's obvious that we got a little bit of issues. But we've done a lot better when Connor Williams and some of those guys are in there. But like it's just football, unfortunately. Yes, we got bullied again. And yes, hey Steve, thank you for chiming in again.
Yeah.
Thank Greer for the injury point. Yes, that's a problem with Chris Greer. He gets a lot of injury prone players. And yes, he again said, oh, the offensive line isn't all of that. But we're not that worried about the offensive line, is what Mike McDaniel it wasn't Mike McDaniel. It was all Greer, and Mike McDaniel happened to be sitting next to Greer listening to his boss speak. But McDaniel was sitting there while Greer was saying, "Oh, you guys might be more worried about the offensive line than we are." And but as it turned out, maybe he should have been a little more worried about the offensive line because it was
with Teron Armstead, we pretty much had no choice when he came out of New Orleans. It was either him or La'el Collins. And La'el Collins, he's not even signed to a team right now. So Teron Armstead was our only choice. That draft, we had a shot to get Tristan Wirfs, but the Buccaneers got him. So we had to settle for Austin Jackson. I'm not saying like Austin Jackson, he did improve this year. He did improve, but at the same time, there's a whole bunch of other opportunities where we could have solidified the O-line instead of, I love Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill won us a few games, but imagine if we had like guys in front of Tua. I feel like Tua's a good enough QB to the point where if you put protection around him, he's gonna find that open person. Based off Alabama days, it seems like he could only work with those like speedy receivers, those good receivers. Yeah. But at this point, I feel like the O-line is more important for Tua because injury thing is an important thing for him too. So, putting Tyreek out there is not going to help Tua not get injured. Having a good O-line out there is going to help Tua play all 17 games, and we could just sling that ball out there.
And you're right. I mean, and last night he got harassed a lot more than he had, in other games. So no, you're right. We did not build. We went new school instead of old school from build within. We build from without, like you said, from the outside in. And you're old school that you say build the trenches first, then worry about the quarterback and the running backs and the receivers.
Yeah. Unless your quarterback is Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson's Patrick Mahomes, guys who can make time in the pocket for themselves, then you don't really have to worry about the O-line. You could worry about the skill position players because the quarterback is going to make it work. But, Tua, I love Tua. Don't get me wrong. But Tua really needs a good O-line so he can have time in the pocket, read out the defense, and throw it. He's not the tallest of people. So it's going to be hard for him to look over that line. So if you have an O-line there that can help him buy some time in the pocket so he can find that open person, that would be better for Tua instead of putting like a mediocre O-line, like a few weak spots here and there. Tua don't deserve that. He deserves like a good O-line. That's why people saying Tua don't deserve like a top tier contract, but he need to be up there. He need to be up there, but he needs to take a little bit less money to make sure we could put that solid O-line year in and year out if you really want to be like.
Oh, they definitely need to get some linemen for sure, and linemen that can stay healthy. But we're tied to Armstead for basically through the 2026 season. And, it's a bad contract, but he's a good player when he plays. And unfortunately, that's like you say, we really had no choice. We needed an offensive lineman, and since Greer can't draft offensive linemen, we were forced into overpaying in free agency. So, that's the tough part, man. For whatever reason, the Dolphins do not overall draft well on the offensive line because all of our best, we got Hunt. So Hunt is like our one, and Austin Jackson might be coming into his own, but guess what? He's a free agent at the end of this year. So you may have to start all over on the offensive line again, depending how much you want to pay Austin Jackson and stuff, or you want to try to improve that position.
Like who would you keep on the O-line? Like, let me ask you that because we got Isaiah Wynn, free agent, Austin Jackson, free agent, Robert Hunt, free agent, Connor Williams, free agent. Like, who would you keep?
But I would say Connor Williams you keep. I mean, I do believe he's been proven to be a good center. So I would keep Connor Williams, and I would try to keep Hunt. Those are the two guys I would try to keep. How about you?
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know because like a game like this, it makes you not want to keep nobody. Because obviously it's not working, and we really need to build this team from the trenches out. And I don't want to like throw it all in the garbage because I know it's so hard to find good old linemen. It's so hard, so you kind of trying to make whatever you got work. That's why we still working with what you call it, Austin Jackson. We're still trying to make Liam Eichenberg work because we know it's so hard to find something better. And on top of that, knowing the playbook, teams, when you know the playbook, they're more entitled to bring onto the team rather than somebody who has the talent but does not know the playbook.
No,
So,
I know. Well, I know you love the draft. It's too early for the draft. Hopefully, there's some good offensive linemen coming out in the draft this coming year. They can't be much worse. So, Dad Dean points out the Dolphins have Patriots number, Patriots have Jets number, and the Jets have the Bills numbers. Bills have Dolphins number. So, one off game playing the team in our division that you have their number is pivotal. Oh, you're right. We can't lose the games that we're supposed to in our division. That is good stuff there. So hopefully, we can get over that. And are you still there, Michael K?
Yeah, I'm eating a bagel.
All right. Well, anyway, thank you for joining us, Michael K. I may drop you off because you're a Bills fan. We got to talk Dolphin fan stuff here. But
Yeah, before you go, I wanted to ask you about the Wilkins dropping the passer call.
Oh, that was BS. I mean,
so Milano's wasn't when he hit Tua, but the one on Wilkins hitting Hurts was.
Well, I never really said, but I mean that one was really mean. He didn't even extend his arms or anything, really. I don't know. To me, it was a BS call. I mean, it could have been BS on the Milano one too. Who knows? But
well,
I didn't say that wasn't or that was. I don't remember what my take was.
Well, the NFL will call it because any unsportsmanlike you can get fined for.
mm-hmm.
Milano wasn't fined for the hit on Tua.
So, well, we will see.
So we'll see if Wilkins gets fined for the hit on Hurts. If Milano, and I will say this, if Wilkins gets fined for that, then it was ridiculous. He should have never got called for it in the first place.
Yeah,
and I agree with you. But if the NFL fines him, then I don't think he's going to get a fine for it.
No, I don't either. I don't believe
so.
So.
Go ahead. I'm going to finish my bagel. I'm going to go hunt.
All right, man. Good luck hunting out there.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right. So hold on, Anthony. I sent the link. I sent it, but I just want to get Selma because DG was gracious enough to join me here today. So let me get my banner back up there. Oh, no, you're not Steve Malloy. Let's see. There you go. So, but yeah, I mean, I like you, George, because you're like me. There's really no excuses, none to be made. You're a little bit. So, what do you think, though? What do you think the Dolphins ultimately do this year? You think you get to the playoffs but not advance again? There's going to be like a one and done type, or it depends on the matchup in the playoffs?
I feel like we're the type of team where everything has to work in our favor for us to get there. There's not an X factor on a team that could help us past any team. Even based off of this last game, we had Tua in there, we had Tyreek, but that's not enough. We need all our guys in there to be like a very, very good team. So I know I think our ceiling is a Super Bowl, but we just have to face the right team. We got to get that first seed, that home bye. If we're a wild card team, it's going to be a very tough task for us to make it there, bro. But if we like get a good record this year, first in AFC, I think there's a chance. It's kind of like when you make stuff easier on somebody, it kind of helps like the learning curve be a little bit better. That's how I feel about it.
Hey, wait, hold on. Hey, hold on, Anthony. I got someone that came in right before you, and you very good points, George. Thank you. Hey, hooked up, Joe.
I think somebody fell asleep.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
That's Anthony.
No, we need to pep the show up here a little bit, don't we?
Hey guys, what's up?
Good morning.
No, that's my Frenchie snoring.
Oh, okay.
I
Oh,
got scared for a little bit.
guys, I have a question for all three of you. Can you explain the lack of penalties on the Eagles? Like they have at the end of this game, they had 0 yards in penalties. We had like 10 penalties at 90 yards. Like, how is it? And the most egregious one is when Darius Slay grabbed Albert Wilson's face. Did you see that, DG, where he grabbed his
Yeah,
face
Cedric
mask and
Wilson.
yanked it all the way back, and yet they didn't call that unnecessary roughness?
Yeah, oh, he fell out. But no, I mean, yeah, I mean,
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, what I was saying, Rob, is like how that was such an egregious missed call. Like, how do you not call unnecessary roughness and what is it called, and pass interference on Darius Slay when he blatantly grabs Albert Wilson's mask and yanks it back like that? Like,
Hey, you're
what
showing your age,
are
right?
these refs smoking when they didn't call any penalties on the Eagles?
No, you're right on that. We've discussed it. Like I said, I'm not a big guy to complain, but you're showing your age a little bit, Anthony. It's Cedric Wilson. You're doing a Rob, not Albert Wilson. You're doing so, but anyway, that's funny. I do that all the time. I still want to call sometime Tyreek Hill random.
Cedric. What? Can you
anyway,
explain?
what were you? What? Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, that was definitely a missed call without any doubt. But I'm not going to say that's the reason we lost because of Tyreek.
No, they had no penalties at all. There was multiple holding calls.
Definitely, the refereeing sucked. I think we can all agree with that. At the end of the day, we don't know if that cost us the game or whatever. But the referee.
No, I'm saying this. I can't believe I'm saying this. It feels like the Eagles franchise paid off. The Eagles paid off those referees not to call anything. Like, how do you not have any? Is that?
Can I mention on something on that?
Yeah, go ahead, hook up, Joe.
I'm one. I never try to blame the refs on anything, especially not a game, because it goes back and forth. If you micro analyze it and it goes back and forth, That said, this guy was already suspended for having bad or unethical calls. He couldn't do the ACC game, and the guy lives like 45 minutes north. He's obviously a fan. How could the NFL, even if it's just optics, right? How can the NFL expose themselves with that level of optics for a game of this caliber and not be called out on it? I'm calling out the NFL on this. They should have known better, even if the ref isn't all we think he might be, right? Just the optics of him being in there is unexcusable for an NFL that supposedly wants people to bet on the game. I don't see how they do it.
No, you're right, man. I mean, that was bad. Like I say, it's bad. I don't want to get into but I agree with you, hooked up, Joe. But I don't want to make this sound like we're blaming, because my whole take
an
today
excuse
was like,
fest.
I don't want to make it as an excuse fest.
Sorry. I was just asking the question because that really pissed me off. That we had like 90 yards in penalties, and when you look at the end of the game, the Eagles have zero penalties and 0 yards.
Yeah. No, you're right. Like I say, but I mean, back it up. Ben's podcast said enough with the penalties. I agree. It was bad. It was grievous, but we still had our chances to win because at one point we were like 17-17 going right into the fourth quarter, and we had our chances to win.
What is it with the Dolphins, guys? Can you explain that to me? That we can't show up for big games at all? Like, we're 1-5 the last 2 seasons. We only beat the Bills at home.
Yeah. Well, we beat the Ravens last year up there. I know the Ravens people would say they didn't have a great team, but the Ravens were pretty good up until that point.
Yeah, no, but I understand we won that game, but when you look at the game as a whole, our team played horribly the first 3 quarters. We didn't show up until I understand the fourth quarter is probably the most important quarter, but to me, in order for you to truly be a great team, you're supposed to play consistently throughout the game, not just one quarter.
No, I agree. I mean, there's a lot to be desired from last night on all sides of the ball, both sides of the ball. I mean, giving them a good return on special teams. I mean, we finally had some decent returns, so that was nice to see. But It's just, yes, you can't commit penalties. And I mean, the ones that were good penalties, some of them, because someone brought up, and I was going to talk about it myself, is how do you have two drives that are your first play of the drive, that one you got to call a timeout on, and the other you get a delay of game. I mean, you should have those plays already planned out, ready to go, but they two times, one they had to burn a timeout, which could have been critical, but it turned out not to be critical because, at the
Was
end of the
that
game,
interception that Tua threw for him forcing the ball to Tyreek?
It was underthrown from his
it
own
was just
statement.
underthrown, and McDaniel admitted that wasn't. He even said, Tua needs to know better than that, and whatever on that throw is. But it's
But
gonna
on that
happen.
note,
Yeah.
Mahomes, I was watching the game earlier. I saw Mahomes just throw a boneheaded freaking interception right into the middle of two people. And I'm thinking, man, if Tua did that, we'd be hearing nothing but that all day long. And
Yeah.
sure enough, we have one interception and people want to hone in on it like no other quarterback ever has a bad move. You know what I mean? At some point, you just have to take the entire game and absorb the entire game and absorb everything around the game, as opposed to, I don't like to micro, even the good things. You just got to take it all into account. And I came away from the game feeling good. I thought we kicked ass compared to everybody we had missing. Call it an excuse or not. I don't like the excuse word because, you have people that are picking apart everything we did wrong. And you say, yeah, but what about this? And they're like, well, that's just an excuse. Well, what about all the things you're picking apart that's bad? Is that just an anti-excuse?
Yeah,
So,
no, you're
there's
right. I mean,
sides to this.
yeah, I know.
And I am relieved, but
I actually, feel like our defense played okay at times last night, and if they continue to get better like that, at the end of the game, we couldn't stop them. That was bad. Like when we couldn't get off the field, we gave them too many fourth and shorts where they were just able to do that silly tush push play that we've already discussed. So that hurt. So that's when the game was over, when we just let them drive down the field and get 2 scores lead on. That was the end of it.
Did you guys hear the referees say that they should ban that play from the Eagles because that injured multiple players last year? That forced, like, that play specifically, that the brotherly push or whatever injured two linebackers last year for other teams, and yet they're still allowing them to do that play.
No, I mean, I think they will revisit it maybe at the end of the season. Hey, Captain for Life made up. I mean, yes, the defense did. The defense gave you a pick six, and came up with some huge sacks. So, like I say, overall, I do believe there were some signs. I know it sucks when you lose. Bottom line game, we lost, and the NFL is a bottom line game. The Dolphins lost. But if you are going to try to look for some encouraging signs moving forward, the defense seems to be slowly getting better. We don't have Ramsey. He's not going to be any worse. Yes, he may not be prime Ramsey that we all want, but he's going to be better than what we have out there right now. And, I see signs of slow improvement. I'm trying to look from the positive side. How about you, George? I'm sorry, Kep. And guys, make sure you follow DG Live on Twitter. It's DG Live with an extra E for his excellent he brings to his channel. So thank you, George, by the way, before I forget that. And I will get your name back up on the board here.
So. Yeah, how I feel about the team at the current moment, it was a tough loss. We also lost to the Bills. We 5-2 right now.
Yeah,
so,
5-2. Yeah.
Yeah, we 5-2. We still first place in the AFC East, and like I said, we will need to, find a way to beat these good teams. We can't afford like too much losses if we really want that number one seed, to make that road easier for us. Because if we're the number one seed, guess who we're going against? Like a 7th or 8th seed team. Those are teams that we showed that we're able to beat. At least minimum. So at least we could go against that team instead of going up against a number one seed, which will probably beat us, and it's away. So we just gotta avoid that situation right there. Like I said.
Yeah, the semifinals is what worries me in the playoffs, DG. If we have to go against the Chiefs specifically in the next round in the playoffs, like, that's the game that worries me the most, because even though we're at home, we're gonna. No, actually, someone, Miss Finns did this on her channel, and They said, she said the Chiefs have the easiest record the rest of the way, and they're gonna be 14-3, so they're gonna have a better record than us. We're gonna be number 2.
Nice. So
I mean,
based
yeah,
off
we
our
don't
easier
know
schedule.
going. We can't predict who's going to do what in the future. But I mean, yeah, I mean, Kansas City's a proven dog. They win all the time. They've won 2 recent Super Bowls and been in 3 recent Super Bowls. I mean, there's no doubt that Kansas City has a better proven track record at winning and getting to the big dance than the Miami Dolphins do. We're trying to just get to that level where we can be like the Kansas. So we got a long ways to go, and this, we'll see. This is the best Dolphin team we've had for a while. So let's see where it goes. Yes, it's not as dirty in the trenches as some of these people would hope. Like digging in the trenches once a smash mouth football team. We're not going to be that. That's just not the style of football team we're set up to be. At least. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to mute you, Anthony. That's really loud.
Oh, man.
Oh man.
All right.
Okay.
That's a big time snoring there. All right, I'm muting him out. Hey, Anthony, I'm going to let you run, Anthony, but stay listening.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't know my dog was going to be snoring this loud. I apologize.
No problem. Hey, that's a good
Bye.
thing. Thank you, Anthony, for joining us.
Bye.
All right, guys. Yeah, I put the dog. Well, my dog's right next to me sleeping too. I guess I'm not interested. I don't talk in dog language, guys. So I just looked down, but at least my dog's not snoring. So
Yeah.
I did not have that effect on him. But hey, man, it's been a fun show. But like I say, I try to be positive, guys. Like I say, because I'm 53. The Dolphins, I was a little too young to remember the Super Bowl wins, and I'm just enjoying it. I've gone through a lot. We all have on the journey of, going through stuff that happens to us, getting curveballs thrown at us in life. So you know what? I'm just going to enjoy the show as it's going along. And yes, we may crash and burn ultimately at the end, but hey, it's been fun. At least it's more fun than when you used to beg for our first down every game just to, keep a drive going. So at least we got a different brand of football, a little more fun. I mean, at the end of the day, I agree with you guys. So it's all about winning and advancing, getting to the playoffs and winning. We haven't won a playoff game. I mean, I have a 21-year-old son and a 17-year-old son, and they've never seen a playoff win in their life for the Miami Dolphins. As a kid, at least I saw a lot of wins. Dan Marino get to the Super Bowl. David Woodley and Don Strock get to the Super Bowl. And, they broke my heart in the Super Bowl, but at least I remember that. My sons are Dolphin fans and never even seen a playoff win in their whole life. So, that's crazy.
Can I throw in one thing before I go?
Yeah.
Just about. We all know that the good teams get better throughout the year. And by the end of the year, many of the good teams we see, they sometimes even start out bad and just keep getting better and better and go in strong into the playoffs. I see us as being one of those teams this year. In 3 games, we're going to be the healthiest we've been all year long. If we get back Armstead and Ramsey and X and Connor Williams is in the game, that is easily the most healthy, best team we've had all year. And that's going to be week 10. How many other teams are their strongest they've been all year in week 10?
I agree, Hooked Up Joe. And that's why I'm saying that's their only hope. Like I say, there's no reason to if we just think the season's over, we might as well not even watch and go spend our Sundays with the family, go fishing, go golfing, go back to shift work. Whatever you have to do, go work and, not enjoy it. So it's just take it as it comes. There's no reason to complain about it right now because it just is. It's outside of our control. Let's just enjoy the ride because before we know it, the NFL season, it goes like, how the NFL season is gone. And then we're all saying, oh, we're counting down the days till the first regular season game again. Or
watching the Hall of Fame game.
So to me, I say, let's just enjoy it. Yes, it sucks. I think we're all a little too high after losses. Like, oh, Miami, after wins, we're all like, oh, yes, Super Bowl. Then after a loss, we're like, oh my God, the season's over, and we're just the worst team in the NFL, And it's just, I think we all, and all fan bases, it's just the nature of being a fan of a team. You just, because it's the one thing that we all do, because we all control, helping our family be better, working to bring home money. We all control that, but like something that we have a passion for that we have outside of our total control, nothing we can do, no shirt I wear, no route I take to the stadium, nothing's going to help. But, and it just feels like, that's why I think we all get so excited, because it's something that we can't control and we just want it so bad. And it's just, they tease us sometimes, but, it's just, it's been a tough time being a Dolphin fan for the past something years. So, it's time to get some better stuff up there. What do you think, Hooked Up Joe?
Yeah, and I think that everybody has a different outlook on what they think about the team as far as that goes. And you also have, I mean, we all know that part of football is talking shit. Excuse my French, right? And when you're on chat, you don't have the little facial expression and tone of voice and stuff that lets you know you're just talking crap. You know what I mean? So sometimes you read comments from people and you're like, that asshole, and the guy's just talking shit, especially you're going over the Bills team and other people like that. It's all in fun. So I just take everything everybody says with a grain of salt. Kind of when I say I laugh it off, I'm not laughing at them. I'm laughing because we're all just kind of talking shit a little bit, because none of, like you said, we're not going to affect anything. And I just have some fun and just consider it that. And the season's going to be over, like you said, before you know it. I'm enjoying every game.
Yeah, no, I'm just enjoying it. Hey, Blue Wave, thank you as always for dropping in here. And guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up if you're in here. So, yes, I mean, yes, it's a frustrating things with this Miami Dolphins team for sure. But is there also some fun things for this Miami Dolphins team? For sure. So I'm trying to concentrate on the good, and yes, I mean, I wish we were the best team easily. I wish we were undefeated, smashing every team in our way en route to being the greatest team talk in history. It's just not, that's not how it's happened though. So, but I'm enjoying it. I love that I went to the game. They scored 70 points. Yes. Me and my 17-year-old son went to that game together. We'll never forget about that. He's always going to remember that game. So, that's why I say you just got to remember the good times. Only one team at the end of the year wins the freaking Super Bowl. New England hogged up way too many of that share. Kansas City's hogging up a lot of that share. So now somehow we got to find our way to just, continue to get better each and every week. And you never know. That's how I look at it, George.
Yeah, with me, like, I have some type of confidence with the team. I do like Mike McDaniel. I feel like he's the right coach that could take us there. Everybody else on the roster, I don't know. Like some people, I feel like they could work for our future. Some people they're not. And on top of that, the cap situation as well. We're not going to be able to keep everybody. So Mike McDaniel, he's going to have to keep his guys. And at the end of the season, we're going to see how this team really feels about Tua. I like Tua. I do feel like he could be a franchise QB. But at the same time, what if they sign him to like a 2-year contract, worth, 45, 50 million a year, or they sign him to a long-term extension, like 10 years, we all going to be able to tell based off of that contract alone. Everybody else, the defense, we got to do some changes on the defense. It seems like we're going to have a whole bunch of new linebackers. This offseason coming up, there's a lot of changes that are going to be coming on to this team.
Oh, I know there's going to be a lot of changes quick because we're up against, we're up against the draft. I mean, up against the cap. So we're going to have to draft well right away. We're going to have to draft. That's why I'm saying no matter what, you got to keep, when people are saying, oh, you got to keep that first round pick and get some less expensive. Nothing's cheap in the NFL when you're an NFL player, but less expensive talent coming in with a friendly rookie contract. Get these guys up, because that's what the Eagles, look at them, man. They were in the Super Bowl last year. They have a rookie contract on Carter now for, they can put a 5-year, they have him for at least 5 years at a cheap rate. And they got one of the best defensive line, being a team that was just in the Super Bowl last year. And they know how to draft well. It's all about the draft. Draft well, and you can change things around. But I do believe we have some good talent on this team. Is it good enough to win the Super Bowl? Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
You know, as we can see from the games that we've played against the better teams. But is it good enough to get us into the playoffs and make things happen and knock off a team? Yes. You know, so that's what we just got to look at. Yep.
Yeah, if all the right things fall into place, then yeah, it's definitely a possibility. But you know, like us, depending on our players alone, we cannot do that. I know we have the big names on our team, but a lot of them end up getting hurt, so on and so forth. So that's where you really got to rely on the coaching, making sure the coaching is doing what they can for the backups to go in there, and we're not gonna notice the difference when the starters actually in and the starters are not actually in. You know, last night we noticed when Lester Cotton came in for Isaiah Wynn, we noticed it.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's just like I say in Blue Wave, like I say, if we had to lose a game, it's better to lose that game that's not in our conference.
Mhm.
And I mean, let's face it, we know the Dolphins weren't gonna go 16-1. We knew we were gonna have a couple more losses along the way. But I guess the way we lost is making some people mad because they feel like we're getting bullied when we go against the good teams. And I think that's why people are mad. But there's not a team in this NFL right now that I'm looking at that I think is going to go 16-1. You know, maybe I'll be wrong, and there will be a team that goes 16-1. So let's just see where we stand in a few weeks. Because if we beat New England this week, I'm not discounting them. You saw what they did yesterday to Buffalo. Then you beat Kansas City. There's a lot of people that are crying, "Hey, good morning, Newfoundland." There's a lot of people that are whining about the loss today, saying we're not the team, that we're falling apart. If we beat New England and we go in and shock the world over in Germany and beat Kansas City in Germany, there's a lot of people that may be singing a different tune before you know it. Because then you go into your bye week, then you got another game at home against the Raiders, and you could be looking at a good record. And I know that's a lot of big ifs and buts and all that. If I had been Elon Musk instead of Rob Mosley, I would have a lot more money. But it's a fact of life. But yes, there are ifs and stuff. So the thing is, let's just enjoy the season. And I think you're kind of enjoying it, Joy. I know you're disappointed too. It's not only did we lose yesterday, it's still very fresh, prime time in our mind. We didn't even get to see any other football since that game. So that's the game that's in our mind. You almost forgot that Buffalo lost and all of this stuff. So, this
Man, Rob, you know me, I stand on loyalty first. So no matter if this team doing good or bad, I always got to rep the team. I was here since Josh Rosen, Chad Henne, all those days, man. You have all those memories with that person. That person that you really love, you have all those memories. No matter what you guys going through, like it's a forever thing. I'm not taking this too serious, but at the same time, it's not serious enough for me to go switch to another team.
Oh no, I would never, ever, 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 ever. I mean, I'm Dolphin all the way to the day I'm no longer breathing. That's just how I roll. The Dolphins are my team. And hey, Steve, no, you're right, Steve. I'm not looking past the Patriots, and the team definitely won't be looking past the Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots. They beat the Bills. I'm not gonna lie about it. But at the same time, like if we had won this game, then I would be worried about the Patriots. But since we lost, and it's a home game, I feel like that should be a good win right there. And then who we have after that? The Raiders.
Yeah.
The
So,
Raiders.
so we got the Patriots. We got the Patriots, like you said, Kansas City, then the Raiders.
Mhm.
So, we got some games that, let me see. Well, I guess I can look at it right here. So, yes, as you can see, we got
Mhm.
Patriots in at Kansas City, which is in Germany. Then a bye week, then the Raiders, and then at Jets, which is going to be a big game and no joke because as they show, they can beat anyone. Kansas City
Mhm.
had a very tough time against the Jets, and the Jets beat the Bills, and the Jets beat the Eagles, two teams that we've taken a dive to. So the Jets are going to be no joke, and they're another bully ball with a big bad defense. So that's going to be tough. I mean, that season is tough in there. But if you can just get one of those Jets games, you're looking okay, And if you get the Bills down here, we sweep the Patriots. There's a lot of things that you can look to and say that this season is far from being a waste.
Mhm.
Is it where we wanted it? Maybe not, because we do see some. So Justin thinks we lose. I think you're overreacting a little bit, Justin, maybe because I know and I do that a lot too. But I somehow think we're going to beat the Patriots. Now, Kansas City, I'm not going to be as confident, but we normally at least play the Patriots well, even when they were like Super Bowl contending teams, and we were not. We still played them well here, so I'm hoping that trend continues that we played them well down here, George.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like we're more prone to win that Chiefs game than the Patriots game. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That's how I'm feeling about the Chiefs game right now. We lost to the Bills, we lost to the Eagles. The next two teams that would be milestone wins for the Dolphins is the Cowboys and the Chiefs. Ravens in there too. I would include the Ravens. The Jets. I don't know, but those are the main teams I'm looking at. The Chiefs,
Oh
the
no,
Cowboys, and the Ravens.
almost all of our tough games are on the road. Go figure. I mean, all games are
Mhm.
tough in the NFL, but other than the Cowboys, if you looked at that schedule, all the top teams that we got the draw, they're all on the road. That's just how it goes sometimes.
Mhm.
Kansas City would have been on the road, but at least it's kind of a neutral site, so we got
Mhm.
kind of a break there. But the Eagles were on the road. The Ravens are on the road. Obviously all the divisions you play on the road and at
Mhm.
but still, it's like, Kansas City would have been on the road on over there near. I mean, it's just, and we're up in Baltimore, up in Philadelphia. I mean, those are tough asks. Those are tough games. But if you're going to be the best, you got to beat the best. And, so we're going to have to start winning some of those games. That's the most important factor.
Yeah, and I came into this season saying that we was gonna lose 5 games. It's looking like we're losing the games that everybody thought we would lose. Like some of the games we thought we was gonna come victorious, but the whole reason why we the only team that went undefeated the whole time, because it's a hard thing to do.
Oh
Very,
no,
very
it
hard.
says and it says, and already again this year, no one's going to do it. So
Mhm.
it's very hard to do. Hey, NBA Greg, thank you to the show. And if your first time here, please give a big thumbs up, which I like to call fins up, and tackle that subscribe button. So yeah, New Finland says there's a lot of things to clean up, but we get some of these starters back and we'd be okay going. I agree. That's what I think. That's how I gotta look at it. And yes, Justin, who's an awesome co-host a lot of times with me, you are 100% right. You do need to get some time down and dirty in football, and that's where we're not strong at, unfortunately. And that's why in the winter, when it gets to the winter months and teams do that,
Mhm.
yes, you got to be a little bit more out there. But hey, so Justin is really he's off the bandwagon right now. But I know at the end of the day, he's a die-hard Dolphin fan. Really cool guy. Got an AJ Dewey jersey out there in the works for me. So he's really good guy, man. He's a big fins up guy. So anyway, guy, and thank you for that thumbs up and a big fins up to you, NBA Rigged. I don't even know if you're a Dolphin fan, but I'm assuming you are if you're in this show. So, George, I'm going to let you go. You're very kind. I know it's not easy to get you normally due to your work schedule. Same thing with Justin.
Mhm.
So, and yes, him and A Chan, he's coming back soon enough too. So, George, again, before I let you go, where can they find you? I mean, I told you once, I know it's DG Live, but your host name's not up there. So, tell them where they can find you and get your good content.
Yeah, you can find me at DG Live on YouTube, on Twitter, and I'm about to start posting on Instagram as well. I will be doing a little reaction to this game. I hate doing reaction to games that you lose, but somebody gotta do it. Like unless you kind of notice the difference with social media and all the viewers when there's a loss and a win. You
Right.
get way more views when there's a win, but when there's a loss, it's like you
Oh
off the
no, I
upset.
know. If they're all, I just do it because it's
I'm
my
busy.
show.
I'm busy.
So no, I like it,
Hey, hold on,
man.
hold on, hold
Okay,
on,
no
Ron.
problem. I'll do all my cleaning up. So let me see. So all I know is yes, we definitely won't get as many views when we lose. And I don't even watch like the football shows when we lose. I'm a poor sport, so I understand why we won't. But that's why I try to keep it at least positive. So if people do come in here, we will try to do it. Thank you, Miss Vince. It's been always. I still want you on my show one day again, and I got to get on your show. Always great. Let me unmute him.
Okay, I'm back.
All right, there you go. So hey, man, like I say, I'm gonna wrap this up. This
Thank
it's
you,
going to be
thank you.
wrapped up. Like I say, we're not going to knock that narrative that we can't beat a good team until we beat a good team. So we got to get that
Mhm.
narrative out. But I don't want to be looking past the New England Patriots, or we're going to do what feel like the Buffalo Bills felt yesterday, lose to New England. We got New England here in our Hard Rock Stadium. Let's knock them off. Then hopefully we can start changing the narrative when we go against Kansas City on the other side of the pond, and we can start, bringing back some fans and saying, "Oh, maybe they're for real this year." But at the end of the day, we're still number one in the AFC East. There's a lot of football to be played, a lot of tough games left in the division. The Jets twice, they're no joke. Everyone was counting them out, but look at their record. They're 3-3. They were off this week, but they are no joke to contend. They got the Giants up next. I hope the Giants beat them, but who knows? The Giants almost beat Buffalo for us, but hey,
Mhm.
we will
Yeah.
see. But anyway, George, I was telling everyone they can get you at DG Live. Throw an extra E for his excellence in there. And I appreciate you guys coming in. And make sure if you're new to the channel, just hit that big with a laser pass or tackle that subscribe button for me. It really helps everything out. Thank you.
Mhm.
And if you guys are ever going to buy anything on Fanatics, you can go through my link. It's just an affiliate link, and it helps the channel grow a little bit. But anyway, guys, that's it, man. So the Dolphins, hey, the positive, we're still atop the. It's like this weekend almost didn't even happen because the Jets didn't play, the Bills lost. We lost, but we're still in first place. So let's try to look at the positive. So that's how I look at it. Hey, it's a fins up. Hey, Franklin, thank you. Better late than never. We're about out of here, Franklin Stubbs. Big fins up to you. So, George, unless you have anything else to say, we're about done here this morning. So, you have any
Hey,
final thoughts?
Hey, y'all keep your head up, man. Keep your head up. No matter what life throws at you, you gotta keep your head up. You can't let nothing defeat you in life. That's how you prevail and you become that Super Bowl team that you really want to be. You gotta act like how we need the Dolphins to act during this season. You gotta prevail throughout all the trials and tribulations. It's gonna make us even a way better team once we know what we gotta do in certain situations. Against the Eagles, we gotta know what we gotta do against these power teams.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
You're
it.
you're running. And Sahar, again, I just said it to Franklin. Better late than never, but we're just about out of here. It's always great having you in here, Sahara. Big fins up to you as well. But no, you said it well said. You just got to learn. That's it. The NFL, you just never know. Because last year, you look back, some teams got killed at some point in the season and they advanced far into the playoffs once they got into the playoffs. So that's why you got to keep it to the grind, got to keep it working, and just keep on nailing away, hammering away, try to improve, get your players back, and boom. And Miss Fins, make sure if you guys don't follow Miss Fins, she recently hit the big 1K for 1,000, but she is super, so make sure you go follow Miss Fins after I wrap up this show. So George, thank you so much. Like I say, Dolphins are in first place. Let's just end with that. Dolphins are in first place, and I'm closing this sucker out for the day, man. And it's been fun. Let's go.
Yes,
All right.
Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, man, he knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get